I'm now getting close to the location where I'm going to meet up with Nikon and Richie from Nikon School, hoping that Richie and I will find some landscapes, some stacks, just do a lot of fun photography together.
And now the rain comes. Try to seek shelter.
And I've just spent some days in Cairngorms and some days in Glenetif together with Joanna and her camper van, and it's just been such a wet trip, and now the sun is hitting my face. It looks promising. Well, better go in and say hi to the people. There we go.
Hey, Morten.
Hey Richie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a coffee.
Yeah, maybe.
So here I am on the west coast of Scotland together with Richie from Nikon School, and we're going to photograph together for the next like 3-4 days.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's
me
gonna be
too.
good.
We had a really rough start because this night it was just pouring down with rain, so windy, and we thought, okay, this day will be ruined. But then when we woke up this morning, I think you got up a little past 4.
Yeah.
I
Nice
looked
and early.
out, typical landscape photographer, and then everything was just kind of cleared up. So now we have these beautiful mountains behind us. We have like partly cloudy. I'm here to photograph the wildlife.
Yeah.
Richie is here to do landscape and wildlife
Yeah.
and stars and
Everything.
whatever. So what I hope is that I can look a little over the shoulder of Richie and learn something about landscape photography, leading lines,
Yeah.
L brackets,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
There's some really exciting landscapes here, so hopefully we get some really good light. The sun's just coming up over to our left.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Cool. The sun was just coming up in that little V shape between the mountains. I want to just get a kind of a really graphical black and white of that shape in the mountains up there. I'm just trying to do like a really underexposed photos, so I just get that little shape in the ridge. I just really like the drama. I'm used to see the world through a telephoto lens, so it's much easier for me to do a composition that way.
How did you get on with the 100 to 400?
Oh, look, when I
Yeah.
first came here, I had this, that was what drew my attention and made me run up here, that hazy, backlit haze up
Yeah.
there, so the ridge came up so like that.
Yeah.
And then within like 30 seconds, it went from this, the
it's
sun
just-
got too,
yeah,
and then
it's just
you can
gone.
see, it's just gone. So nice with that heavy rain just coming.
The clouds moving through is giving us that nice driving rain, isn't it? Especially
Yeah.
with the wind.
Yeah, and especially if we have this dark background from the heather,
Yeah.
like the dark heather, and then the bright rain. If we're lucky, we'll be able to see it on the photo actually.
Especially if we get a bit of break with the light and the clouds. That'd be
Just-
great.
Just need to find some stacks. There they are.
On that left hand
There-
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 of them. We just saw a group of stacks in these hills with a beautiful like mountain and clouds in the background. So now what we're going to do is like to grab the equipment, the backpack on, bring everything, and then just see if we can like carefully get over the ridge to get a glimpse of the stacks without actually scaring them. Down that valley, we'll just have sky behind them. If we kind of get it, make it to up there,
Yeah.
the same level to them, move around. But the problem is, if you look here, this one,
The wind was taking it that way. Yeah.
when we are there, they get our scent.
Yeah.
We just have to hope that they're used to the scent of humans.
Yeah.
Should we
I
try?
think it's worth a shot, especially with a better background.
Yeah, because if we do here, we will not get anything to them. on that mountain range over there, like 6 of them. And behind them there are some dark mountains with clouds and fresh white snow.
If they get 20 meters further up, it will take some luck. Then they will suddenly be with a like snow-covered mountains in the background, and that would be awesome. Just trying to be ready and hope for that. It can go from like nothing to everything in 10 seconds now. We have to get up there. It has been such an amazing day here in the Highlands of Scotland, because like the weather has been so unpredictable. Like I can't remember I have experienced something like that before. It has been snowing, raining, like hailstorm, windy, sunny, all on the same day. And Richie and I have been busy chasing these stags, trying to see if we could get like in first just a glimpse of them, and then second if we could get a little closer, and they have just been so skittish. But I'm quite sure that we got some good photos. I'm really looking forward to a good night's sleep, because this day has been busy, and tomorrow is going to be probably even busier, because tomorrow I'm going to, for the first time in my life, do some off-road driving in this Land Rover car that I'm in now, the Defender. And I'm going to photograph hopefully some more animals, some landscape with Richie, and yeah, tomorrow will just be full of adventure like today has been. So yeah, for me, I'll go to bed. So here we are, just made a little stop because we're in good time. So Richard and I are going to just take a lens. We have an hour or so here, see if we can find either landscape or maybe some, oh, there's a pheasant, did you see? Richie knows this location, he has been here before to do landscapes and red squirrels, so we thought we can't let this opportunity pass. That was really nice. We made the little stop, even though we only had half an hour. We saw some small birds, we saw a pheasant, we saw this beautiful forest in there that I'll definitely want to come back to. Now it's time to head down, because we are going to this Land Rover event. Where I'm going to drive one of these many Land Rover Defenders through a very challenging terrain. And it's the first time I'm trying that. There's a chef cooking outside on a coal grill. And yeah, everything is just so cozy. Now we are at the first tricky part. And like, this is not a place I would go by myself in my car. Like, this is really crazy. So slippery, so muddy, so steep, water's running down. Oh. Now we're heading towards the last destination for this day. It's call it stargazing, where Richie is going to teach a bunch of people how to get some good results from photographing the sky and hopefully the stars. So far this day has been amazing, and it's hard to have any more expectations, but let's see what the evening will bring. So this morning is just so beautiful. Like the view in there, it is changing all the time because the mountains are slightly snow covered, and then it just looks like actually a black and white photo, except from the sky that has a slightly bit of blue in it. And I'm just really curious to see what Richie is doing, because I have the 100-400 on. Try to do some compressed landscapes because I find it extremely hard to do landscapes with a wide angle because there's so many things to like think about. And then I feel more comfortable with the telephoto lens because that's the field of view I'm used to, and then I can just do like so. But let's see what Richie is doing. That's kind of exciting because he's shooting with a wide angle all the time, and you know, with the filters and long exposures, and I'm excited to see what he's doing.
So I don't know if you can see, but as quickly as these clouds are moving across, that's what I'm looking at really. I'm not really worried about smoothing out this foreground because you could do quite a short exposure, as you know, and you'll smooth the water out here. But the cloud movement is why I really want to shoot a really long exposure.
So weather is definitely moving in. Mountain has disappeared in the background, and rain is hitting my face. It's like a big grey wall of heavy rain and wind coming in. So I'm going to capture some of that. Oh, it's snowing! It's awesome! It's almost stressing. I didn't know landscape photography could be stressing, but it is because the light now is so precious. I mean, this is crazy. If you look that direction, you have the sun and the mountains and a kind of golden light. In that direction, it just looks like almost white out. It's interesting. Oh, really, really love Scotland. It's definitely a paradise for a nature photographer. Oh, this is so nice. The light from the sun hitting the water. It just looks so beautiful. So I'm literally just pouring water out from my photo bag. I was photographing the snow and I was so excited about that. And the fact that we were photographing a loch didn't really make me think so much about that this is actually a sea loch. So when I was standing here talking to Richie, suddenly I was looking and I saw my bag floating like a little boat. And the first thing that went to my mind was like my laptop is in there and all my hard drives. And when we took out the laptop from here, it was in a pool of water down there that I could like empty out just like this. And the laptop was soaked, hard drives were soaked. Yeah, how stupid can you be? Lesson definitely learned. And I used to say landscape photography is boring. It's more action-packed than a polar bear visit. Yeah, wet bag and I are going to the forest. If we somehow could cross that river, we could do that on the bridge. Yeah. Get down. If we can get so much down, then we actually get a little of that background. So like imagine we don't get the lake, but we get all the way down in the grass, so we don't see the lake, but just like this background disappearing.
With the mountains.
Yeah. A little while ago, we spotted the stacks from over on the mainland, if you can say that. But between us and the stacks were 3 rivers that we had to cross. It has taken quite a while because there's a lot of water. But now the situation is perfect. There's nothing between us and the stack. And Richie has placed himself near the river just in case the stacks are going to move around me, so he'll be perfectly positioned there. I will try to use the landscape to hide my movements so that I can get closer to the stacks without him actually looking at me. He's definitely aware of me sitting here. What I want to do now is to try to keep quiet. I want to move along the river because the sound of the river will hide the noises of me breaking branches when I walk, and the wind is pretty good. It's actually coming like in this direction, which is good. So the stag is so aware of me being here that it's like looking up constantly. I have to look at it in my binoculars and see for what I would like to see, that it's starting to like either scrape for eating or like having its head down for like 5 or 6 or 7 seconds in a row. So now it's a patient game between me and the stag. That was not good. Wind is changing. They're going directly towards the stag. That means that regardless how quiet I am, it's not that it can see me, it's not that it can hear me, but it can smell me. And I thought I had the wind towards me, but because of the mountain, it's like circling around and the weather is very unpredictable. So what I might as well do now is just to move very slow and hope that it's not too skittish, because the deer know I'm here, the nose is, and the ear is its best weapon. Now I'm behind and I can walk among the trees, and then I can get down to the river again. And the further I get that way, the better the wind conditions are, because my scent will be taken away from the stags. This is so good. Like, the stags just lie down out there in the field and they're relaxing, and the weather has just turned into like perfect for this kind of photography. And it's so beautiful with the dark trees and the hail and the stags. I just feel so lucky. But I don't want to get close actually, because this experience is so unique, just to be so close in this beautiful weather to the stags. I kind of think for me it'll destroy the experience if I just have to push it and push it and push it just to get closer and closer. And if they then run away in the end, it's not so good. So what I would rather do is to keep the distance I have now, work a little more that way to get them in a little different angle, and then hopefully when I leave this area they will still be there grassing and relaxing. So that's my plan now. What an experience to be so close to the deer, and they don't seem that shy. Now I got some like nice close-ups, and I always say that, but you always want to get closer, then you want to get a headshot, then you want to get an eye. But now is the time to say enough is enough. Let's leave this deer alone. Let's give them some peace. We got our photos. Now we just have the challenge about getting back without disturbing the deer, with the same respect, the same time as we used getting here. Now I want to find Richie. And hopefully he got something good from his position. So time to leave. Oh, this is nice. Now there's no more water coming out from the laptop, and I haven't dared to turn it on yet. When I did like this before, water would come out, but it seems a lot drier now. Still, I see some water in here, so I haven't dared to actually turn the thing on. My plan is to leave it here until tonight in front of the fireplace, And then, hopefully, when I press that little round button on the corner of the Mac, my little fox will come on here and ask me to do my password. That's the best case scenario. No. It's dead. Shit. So, here we are in the cozy living room in front of the fireplace, and today has been absolutely awesome. So I thought this was actually the perfect opportunity for me to make a proper introduction of Richie.
When it comes to the Nikon Z mirrorless system, its autofocusing system has a lot of new options.
Richie is a Nikon school teacher, and he knows everything from like firmware into details to all the Nikon lenses, all the cameras. And for me, it has been like such a pleasure to get explanations of things that I didn't know.
Now, this is probably too big for wildlife.
And then, beside of all this, Richie is such a good and talented photographer. Astrophotography, landscape photography in general, and it's just so good. And for me, it's so nice when people know so much about the technical part of the photography, but that they are also able to go out in the field and make such great images.
Firstly, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was great. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There's kind of like two parts to the things that I do, and Nikon School in general is all about saying to people that we are the experts when it comes to educating you about cameras, lenses, and you are right that that goes beyond just the technical aspect of the kit. It also then goes into the actual artistic side of getting your best photography and what settings to use and really looking for composition and that type of stuff. But you are right that despite all that technical knowledge that I have, I'm a photographer, and I've always really thoroughly enjoyed photography and really enjoy landscapes, as you now know, but I also thoroughly enjoy wildlife. So just seeing you work and just seeing the way that you've been tracking and following and the shots that you've been taking, and I think the great thing is that we're two photographers shooting the same subject, same camera and same lens.
Yeah.
And we can have two completely different pictures from that same subject as well. People sometimes generally tend to put themselves into a bit of a corner when it comes to, oh, for landscapes, I have to have this lens, or for wildlife, I have to have this lens. And in a lot of cases, you can use a magnitude of lenses and still get a really good shot.
Yeah.
And you've really kind of practiced that today.
Another thing I'd like to ask is, for these of you who do not know who Richie is, he also have a YouTube channel. There's so many things on YouTube, and it's so hard to find like something that you can just rely on 100%, because the moment I got my Z9 in my hands on Svalbard, I had basically less than 12 hours to learn the camera. But when I came home from that trip, the autofocus had been like bullying me a little bit. So I thought, rather than going through the entire process of trials and errors, I went to your channels. That's how I actually discovered Richie. And I saw that video where it was just a whole video, very detailed, in depth about the entire autofocus system, all the modes explained. And for me, that's valuable, because I know when I've seen such a video, there's nothing I don't know about that topic. So that is also one of the reasons why I want to have this chat, so that the people on my channel that are watching right now, they can go in and find good information and good inspiration on your channel, because I basically think you're doing a fantastic job in there.
The idea behind it is I wanted to make sure that people had like a reliable source of information. There's always trial and error, and everyone can go out and use their cameras however they want to, but every now and again it's just worth figuring out, you know, how does something actually work?
Yeah.
And my idea is that I just want to educate people on kit, and it means that hopefully it helps you and a lot of other people as well. It's been really good to see how you shoot and to try and make sure that you're getting the best out of the camera kit that you have. And it's just been really good spending these past few days with you and just kind of watching you work, and, you know, you learn a little bit from me, I learn a little bit from you, but the key thing is that, you know, we're both photographers and we both really enjoy what we do, and I think that really comes across. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Richie. This trip to Scotland has just been amazing so far. First, I spent the days in Cairngorms and Glenatif together with Joanna in her camper van, and we had such a good time. And now here with Nikon, with the Land Rover and the roof tent. It's just like, I love this way of being in nature, because didn't have to go shopping, didn't have to do anything, didn't have to like interrupt your experience of your trip by going back to a hotel or something like that. Like, look at this, so beautiful. Oh, this is so nice. So beautiful and nice with the sun, no wind, no rain, no snow. I just set up my tent, so I'm ready for the night. And the solar panels, so I can charge my batteries. Now, I'm just going to make myself a nice cup of coffee and some food. Oh, it's going to be nice. It's really, really nice to sit here. First of all, it has been some busy days here in Scotland, and the weather has been so like stormy, windy, raining, sleeting, like basically all the time. And then like now, just sitting here, listening to the little stream, and there's no wind. Like, look at this. If I take a little piece of grass, it's basically just falling down straight, and I love that. That's one of the things I love about being in nature. It's like I really need time to settle down and just basically take it all in and feel relaxed and energized, because this is exciting to do wildlife photography, but it's also very important to have the moment where it basically just kind of meditation to me, to be in nature.